Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm so excited about this video. The last DIY is probably my favorite DIY I've ever done. So for this first DIY, I have this skull from Dollar Tree and I am just cutting off the back of it. I was using my scissors there and then I'm using my hot knife, but it's not switched on because I didn't want it to melt the plastic and I wanted it to be smooth still. So I'm just using that to cut it, and then my scissors also because it wasn't cutting around the corner, well not the corner but the rounded bit on the skull. So I'm just doing kind of a sawing motion and I'm trying to make as straight a line as I can because I'm going to stick this to a frame. And then here I'm just taking a pencil and drawing a line so I can guide myself and try and cut it as straight as possible. I'm just cutting off any wee extra bits. And then I'm taking a nail file, you could use sandpaper, and I'm just sanding off the seams on the chin. I don't know why this one had like a big piece hanging off it and made a hole, but that doesn't really matter. I'm just using some air dry clay. I will link it down below. It's a big tub for 10 bucks. And I don't know if you can get a better one, but I thought that was a good deal. Anyway, I'm making some vampire fangs. So I just molding it into the shape of a fang and then pressing it on, and then I have these wee tools from Dollar Tree and I'm going to use them to shape the fangs while they are on the skull. And I think I'll just show you me doing one fang because I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I bought this clay just so I could do this DIY, but I'm definitely going to buy some molds so that I can do a lot more DIYs with it. So once I was happy with my vampire teeth, I just had a wet paper towel and I just smoothed off my fingerprints, and then I wiped away any excess clay that was around them. And I'm going to use some Waverly plaster chalk paint. So I'm just going to glue my teeth on because I let them dry and now I'm going to glue them. But the other one started to break, so I just left it, but I do fix it later on. I didn't want to make another tooth. But it did break when I was trying to pull it off. That first one came off really easy and then the next one didn't want to come off, so I just left it, and then you'll see what I do later on. I just didn't have time to make another tooth. So I'm just painting with the plaster chalk paint and I'm going to give it 2 coats. Although I'm only going to show you 1 coat. You see my tooth there. I just glued it back on. And then it had cracks in it, but I just kept painting it to cover them up, and you can't even notice them now. It would be cool if Dollar Tree brought out some vampire skulls. I would definitely buy those. So maybe next year they will have something like that. And then I just carried on painting after I fixed that. I watered down some red and some black paint, but I watered it down a bit too much, so I'm just going to add some more black and some more red to them. And then I am putting the black paint inside the eye sockets and the nose holes. And then I'm going to use the red around the mouth. I wasn't happy with that, so I made it darker. And then just filled it up to however dark you want to have it. You could also use grey if you wanted. I'm just going around the teeth now and the fangs, and then I'm going to paint some of the red paint on the fangs. It was looking a bit pink, so I added some more red paint. And then I just kept applying it to the skull until I was happy with how it looked. And it looks a bit weird just now, but I'll show you what I do. It's not going to look like this in the end. I just dabbed off any excess with a paper towel, and then just filled in if it took off too much, and then I blasted it with my heat gun. Kinda looks like the Joker right now. And now I'm just going to go over it with some of the plaster chalk paint again, because I just want it to be like the teeth are stained like at the gums, and then the fangs are stained at the bottom, because this is like a really old vampire skull. So just dry brush over that, and then I went back in with the red again on the fangs, and any bits that the white paint went over too much, I just went over again with whatever colour I needed. And this frame is from Dollar Tree in the plus section, and have my wee helper this time. Now that she wants to grab everything, it's kind of annoying with her. Look, her sneaking in. It's annoying with her sitting on my lap. So I have this scrapbook paper pad from Amazon. I'll link it down below. And it has like little cutouts right at the front. And then it has all these pretty pages, which should also be nice for Halloween, for Valentine's. So I will definitely be using it then. I'm just showing you all the pages. And you get 2 of each. It's 12 by 12. You get 2 of each page, and they're one-sided. And I did want to use this one, but I didn't want to have the writing on it. So I am using this one. I'm laughing at her. So I'm just going to cut off the part that I need and keep that other piece for another project. And then I have some Mod Podge, and I'm just spreading it around with a paintbrush, and then I'm going to stick my scrapbook paper on. And then I'm just smoothing it all out, and then I take my heat gun to dry it off, and then that got rid of some wee air bubbles that were in it. And then I just trimming it round with some scissors. I'll also keep those scraps because I could use them, maybe use them in the future. I'm just putting all the frame back together now. I have 2 tower blocks, and I am just gluing them on either side of the inside of the skull, and then I am placing it on the frame, and I love how this turned out. I love vampires, and yeah, all the DIYs in this video are so much fun to make. I'm definitely going to make some more vampire DIYs next year. I'm using that same scrapbook pad, and then I'm going to use these two sheets. I wish it didn't have the writing on it, but it turns out fine in the end. I have this sign from Dollar Tree. I was trying to find, there's a new one that was like a stand-up one with a wooden frame around it, a coffin one obviously, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'm using this because that's the one I wanted for this DIY. So I was just checking how it would look when I put it on. I'm just going to apply some Mod Podge and then stick down the scrapbook paper. I'm just doing it a piece at a time, and I'm putting it right to the edge because I want as little of that writing on it as I can. I see her wee face poking in there. I'm just putting some more Mod Podge so I can stick down the next piece. I had to do it so fast. Well, I've speeded the video up ×4, but I had to do it so fast because she was trying to put her fingers in it. And this one, I am putting it further over to get rid of that writing as much as I can. But I didn't line it up very well because I was rushing, so take your time and do a better job than I did. And then I was just using a hot air gun to dry it off. And now I'm just going to trim up the sides. And of course I'll keep the pieces of scrapbook paper. I did go in and trim it up better off camera, and I also filed down the sides with a nail file. I should have done this step first, but I am just taking some black acrylic paint and I am painting around the edges, and then any white bits of the paper that I cut and just covering that up. And if it went on the front of the paper, I just wiped it off, but I didn't really mind too much if it went on it. What I should have done is put a little thin line around the edge so that you don't see the paper when I do the next step. So I have these dual border stickers from Dollar Tree, and I'm just applying some Mod Podge to them. And I won't show you me doing them all. Once I painted them all, I left them to dry, and now I'm going to do 2 coats of the black acrylic paint. If you have chalk paint, you maybe don't need to do the Mod Podge first. Someone told me to do that in the last video so that it sticks to the plastic. Well, the paint sticks to it. And then I'm just going to let that dry. You can also spray paint this if you wanted to. And then I'm just going to do another coat of Mod Podge on the top. And this is the matte Mod Podge, I don't know if I said that. So you should let your stuff dry completely. I didn't because I don't have time for that. So I just pulled the sticker off, and now I'm just picking off all the excess that was on the sides. and this didn't take too long actually. So I'm just picking it all off, and then I'm going to stick it down. Okay, I'm still picking it off. Okay, and then I'm just sticking it right at the edge. And then, because of the shape of these, you could see the paper at the edge, so you could always paint that. So I'm going to stick this all the way around, and to join up the pattern, all you need to do is cut away one wee gem from the end, and then they fit together nice. So I used one whole pack, and then I had these 3 wee pieces that were left from another project, so don't throw things away because they were the exact size that I needed for this, and I didn't have to open the other packet, and I can use that for something else. Because these wee stickers are good for so many projects, and they look so nice when they're painted. So I printed off this bat on my Cricut, and this is the first time I've used my Cricut in over a year. I definitely need to start using it more often. And then this is just the Dollar Tree vinyl, and I cut it on the washi tape setting, and it works well with this transfer tape, so I'll link that down below. I got that from Amazon. And I just put it in place. I wanted it to cover up that line I made in the middle, or I didn't match it up properly. So you can still see the line, but once it's up, then you won't notice that. And then these flowers are from Dollar Tree, so I am just going to arrange them and then hot glue them down. I have some red ones and some black ones. And then I'm using the wee branches that came with them as well. If you didn't want to do a bat, you could do something else in the middle of this. But I like the bats. Anyway, this said vampire DIYs, and this is a vampire bat. Dracula turned into a bat and flew off. So once I decided how I was going to have the flowers, I just hot glued them all down. Arranging the flowers and stuff is like the hardest part of the DIY, trying to get it to look right. Yeah, that's why I don't use a lot of flowers and stuff in my DIYs. And this one, you have to stick each layer down. And I was trying to rush, and they weren't sticking properly. So just take your time when you're doing the DIYs. I don't show it, but I did end up using another black rose down the bottom. I just show you me doing the red rose, but then I decided that I needed a black rose down there as well. And that rose at the top was a couple of the black roses I'd stuck together for another project and I didn't use it. And then I'm just cutting some of the wee leaves and sticking them down as well. These florals are alright, but I always have trouble finding nice ones that I see people using. in my Dollar Trees. They never have a good selection. So I'm not sure if I'm going to hang this up yet, so I didn't put a hanger on the back. So if you want to hang it, then just put a wee twine hanger on the back. And yeah, I haven't decided if I'm just going to have it lean against the wall or if I'm going to hang it up yet. And I love how it turned out. I really love that bat. I love its creepy eye. This is an 8x8 canvas from Amazon, and I will link it down below. And I'm just using some tower blocks and the miter shears. Sometimes the blocks are easy to cut, sometimes they're not. There is ones that are, they kind of feel lighter and like, I don't know how to explain it. They don't feel as dense, and those ones are much easier to cut. So I'm just doing like a brick wall effect, because this is going to be the floorboards, as I'm making a wee vampire room. And this is, I think this is my favourite DIY I've ever done. So usually I would do 4 rows of the tower blocks, but this time I'm doing 6. Because I need more floor space. But when you make these, you could put as many tower blocks down as you like. You could also make the entire frame out of tower blocks, or you could use a bigger frame. I'm not sure if they have this size in Dollar Tree, but I know that in the plus section you can get bigger ones. Or you could just use a picture frame from Dollar Tree, like the wooden frames that they have. So I just keep cutting them down to make, that was me trying to find the blocks that were easier to cut. You could also use a saw to cut them. So I'm just going to glue them all together with some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. Use a piece of wood and then cut down some popsicle sticks to make floorboards for this if you don't have tower blocks. And I buy them from the Dollar Tree website because I never see them in stores, except for the other day I actually saw them. And that's the first time in I don't even know how long. I don't even look for them anymore, but I was in the toy section and I saw them. And yeah, that's where they are anyway, the toy section. But if your country doesn't sell tower blocks, then there are equivalents. They have different, they might not be the same size though, but they do have something similar on the internet for on different websites. So I'm just painting the whole thing with some black acrylic paint, and I gave it 2 coats of this. You could use chalk paint or you could spray paint this. You could make all the pieces and then spray paint them out. And this is another scrapbook pad that I got, and it is 8.5 by 8.5, and it has all these sheets in it. But they are double-sided, but they're double-sided. I don't know why some of these pads do it. They're double-sided with the same pattern on the other side, which makes no sense, but I only needed this one sheet for this anyway. So I was trying to cut it with my X-Acto knife, but it's not sharp anymore, so I went and got the scissors. And this is going to be the wallpaper for the room, so I'm just going to measure it and then cut it out. Yeah, I will link this scrapbook pad down below as well. You could always use if you got the other pad, one of the sheets from that. But I bought this one first, and then I realised it wasn't going to be big enough for my other DIYs, so I went and got the other one. So I like to put it in and then make sure it fits before I glue it down, and then just trim off any pieces, because none of these wooden things are made straight or even. And then I'm just going to glue it down with some Mod Podge. This is the matte Mod Podge. And once I glued it down, I'm going to paint the entire thing with the Mod Podge. As I didn't want it to be matte, the paint, and also to protect it. So I'm just taking my heat gun to it to dry it and get rid of the air bubbles. And then I'm just going to finish it off with some more Mod Podge. And it looks white just now, but it does dry clear. I didn't paint the back because I am running out on black paint, and I still have some DIYs to do, and I forgot to get it when I went to Walmart. So I'm hoping that I have enough to get these Halloween DIYs done. And when I get some more, I can always go back and paint the back. I got this wee gold frame from Shein, and I don't know if you can get ones like this in Dollar Tree, but you could always use what you can find there. So I'm just painting it with some Mod Podge because I want to paint it black and I want the paint to stick. You could also use spray paint. That would be a lot easier if you just went out and sprayed all these things. I think I have some black spray paint, but I didn't want to take all the stuff out and paint it, spray it outside, so I'm just doing it this way. And to speed up the drying, I blast it with the heat gun. Now you should let all your pieces dry properly. I just dried them enough so that I could carry on with the DIY. And now I'm going to give it 2 coats of black paint. I did think about leaving it gold, but I decided that I wanted to do it black. I made sure I got the paint in all the wee nooks and crannies, and I won't show you me painting the whole thing. I'll just show you a wee bit. My paint is still wet, so I'm just taking a dry paper towel and I'm rubbing over it because I want that gold to show through. You could leave it totally black if you wanted to. So I have another scrapbook paper pad. You guys if you watch my other Halloween DIYs, you've seen this one before. And I wanted to use one of these wee skulls, and it fits inside this frame perfectly. I am just holding it in place just to see what it'll look like. So I'm using some more of these sticker gems from Dollar Tree, and this wee Home Sweet Home coffin was from Dollar Tree. I bought it a few years ago, and it's just like a cardboard box, and it's got a lid, and I am just sticking the stickers all around the top of the lid on the edge, and then I'm going to stick them around the side of the lid. And I don't know if they still have these. I'm sure they have some kind of coffin. I didn't find a lot of Halloween stuff this year. One of the stores I went to was totally bare, and I didn't see a lot of the stuff that I saw people haul that I wanted. But these stickers, I love these. You can use them for so many. These other stickers are also from Dollar Tree. I'm just taking off the rectangle one and put it on the front of the coffin. And then this is one of the necklaces from Dollar Tree that has wee skulls and bones on it. And I'm just cutting off 6 bones to make handles for my coffin. And I'm just burning the little threads at either end with a lighter. And I'm hot gluing these in place just on top of where the picture of the handles was. So now I'm going to paint the whole thing with some matte Mod Podge, and you see Dracula is inside the coffin. I was gonna line it with some red silk and make a wee pillow and stuff, but I didn't bother because I didn't have a Dracula to put in it, so maybe in the future I'll find something. But in the meantime, that wee cartoony Dracula will have to do. And then I paint the lid and the bottom of the coffin as well. And then I just blast it with my heat gun to make it dry faster. Just don't put too much Mod Podge on and it'll definitely dry a lot quicker. So I'm just going to give it 2 coats of the black acrylic paint. And I'm just painting the outside. I'm going to leave the wee Dracula inside. I love vampires, not just for Halloween. I even went to Transylvania in Romania to visit my friend. Well, she doesn't live in Transylvania, but she took me there and she took me to Bran Castle. And it was so nice. I definitely want to go back again and visit all the castles there. I'm giving it a coat of Mod Podge now. I won't show you me painting all the Mod Podge, but I do it on the top and, well, the lid and the base of this wee coffin box. I decided it wasn't decorated enough on the bottom, so I have these wee half pearl stickers from Dollar Tree, and I am just sticking them along the bottom edge of the coffin. And I could have left these red actually, looking at it now. But I do paint them in the same way as I did the other stickers. I already painted the Mod Podge, so I'm just going over them with the black paint just now. And when that dries, I will go over it with the Mod Podge again. I have more stickers from Dollar Tree that I got. I got these ones years ago, and they have a wee bat, so I'm just sticking that on the top of the coffin. I was playing around to see what it looked like if I put it different places, but I did stick it over that other sticker that I put there earlier. For the lights, I decided to make 2 platforms with tower blocks instead of... I was going to make them wall sconces, so I decided to do this instead. So I placed 2 tower blocks at the back, then 1 on the floor bit, and then the other one is standing on its side so that it's the same height as the tower blocks at the back. And now I'm not gluing these down yet, I'm just gluing them in place, and then when they set, I'm going to paint them with the black paint and then paint a Mod Podge on the top of that. I did give them 2 coats of black paint like I did everything else. So I'm just gluing them in place now. These says Favour Surprises are from Dollar Tree Party Section, and I'm just using my hot knife, have it switched on this time, to cut the back off these. What do you call these things? They're like, it's not a whistle, it makes like a... I haven't even tried them actually to see what noise they make, but I know what noise they make. Anyway, I cut the back off so that they can sit flat against the back of this DIY, and also because my lights need to go inside them and up to the top of them. That makes sense. So I'm just going to do the same Mod Podge, black paint, and then Mod Podge. So while those are drying, I decided to drill a hole in the middle of each of those pedestal bits that I made, and I'm just brushing away any of the dust. If you make it, obviously you can put these pieces in better order than me. So this is some string lights that I got from Dollar Tree, and These actually I got at Christmas time, and I couldn't find any string lights when I went, so I'm using these, and they have mesh on them, so I'm just cutting the mesh off. And then it was like glued onto the end one, but I need that one. And then I'm just putting them through. I only need one light on each side. I found these lights in the Dollar Tree Plus section, but I'm only going to use 2 of the bulbs for them. I do use those lights in my DIY room for my next video, so I'm just putting the lights up the middle of these. And then hot gluing it in place. I just want the light just sticking up just enough at the top. And then I'm gonna glue this wee bulb on the top because it looks like a flame. And then I tried to hot glue this in place, but it wasn't staying, so I got some masking tape and that held it in place. I'm just going to do the other side now. I probably should have done this side first. I was so fiddly trying to get it in. So the top part of those whistle things comes off. So if you wanted to, you could use that part and make wall sconces. I just wanted to make the standing candles. So I do get that through eventually. And then I just taped the back. And I glued the other one in. And I can't see what I'm doing. And then I have these 2 wee bats. They were on other DIYs, and I take them off, and one of them I used my heat gun and I melted the wing because I wasn't thinking, oh, it's plastic. But I do have a ton of them somewhere, but I cannot find them. So if I find them, I will I will replace that bat. So I'm just hot gluing the box to the back. Obviously on the side with the screw is on the front, so that I can change the batteries if I need to. And then I'm just taping up the rest of those lights. And I am just dry brushing some gold on each of these half pearls, the bigger ones, on the front and around this wee sticker that was on there. I did order some rub and buff, but it's not got here in time. So luckily I had a wee bit of gold paint left. I also paint the wee handles. And then I decided to dry brush over the candlesticks. And I love how this turned out. I think it's my favourite DIY I've ever done. I love gothic decor. This is how I would have my house if I lived by myself. I wouldn't have had red before, but now I'm thinking I need some red in my craft room. So let me know what you think of these DIYs, which one was your favourite. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!